Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Pittsfield Suns pregame show on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
Now Braith with a 1-2 as this one's lifted into left center field. Going back as a center fielder. This one's going to go behind his head and one run will score. Running second now is going to be Kevin Donati, and he's going to be running third. Going all the way to second base is now going to be Janowski. He's going to stay put. No throw. And that is a 2 RBI 2-bagger by the second baseman, Brandon Janowski. And the Suns now lead it by a score of 6-2.
Now we're going to take you to the birthplace of baseball, Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and Paul Dowd Field at historic Wacona Park.
Here again, the payoff. High fly ball down the left field line. Going back here is Maduri towards the warning track. Good! Pittsfield Suns tie up the ball game with a clutch 2-run homer by Connor Moriarty.
Now here's your host for Pittsfield Suns baseball, Billy Madewell and Andrew Belargent.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to beautiful Paul Dowd Field at historic Wacona Park in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, as the Pittsfield Suns get ready to take FCBL action in a doubleheader against the visiting Worcester Bravehearts. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Billy Madewell. Thank you so much for making us part of your weekend. Alongside me, as always, my longtime broadcast partner, Andrew Belargent. Andrew, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Just a little bit over a week left of the regular season here in the 2018 campaign for the FCBL.
Yep, everyone's down to single digits in terms of games left to play, and 2 of those games come today with the Suns hosting one of the hottest teams in baseball.
That's very true. Worcester Bravehearts really coming out of the All-Star break. One, they came into the All-Star break hot as can be, and then they just continue to ride that momentum even after the All-Star break. Well, that being said, Andrew, why don't you give us a full recap of what's happening around the FCBL?
Well, having a look at things here, we're going to address the standings. Of course, a big point of contention with the postseason so close. So, as previously said, every team in the FCBL has at most 9 and at least 8 games left to play. So first, we're going to have a look at regular season standings and then talk about the postseason picture. Looking at the standings, Martha's Vineyard Sharks, the top things as always, 31-14, but they're just 2 games up over today's visiting Worcester Bravehearts, who sit in at 30-17. With both of those teams involved in doubleheaders today, well, you never know how that could look after today. In third, a fairly distant third back, are the Bristol Blues at 24-21. They are 5 total games back of the Worcester Bravehearts. In fourth sit the Brockton Rocks at an even 500, 24-24. And then four entire games back in fifth are the Pittsfield Suns at 18-26. The last team to get into the postseason, if the playoffs were to begin today, are the North Shore Navigators at 17-29, but they have just a half a game lead over the Nashua Silver Knights, who are currently the bubble team at 16-29. The Silver Knights notably have won 3 straight games. So let's talk about the postseason picture here. And at its highest, it's pretty straightforward, but as we get closer and closer to the cutoff point, things start to get complicated. So let's start off with the easy stuff. Martha's Vineyard Sharks hold the number 1 seed. They have 9 games to play. Their best possible record is at 40-14, with their worst being 31-23. They have clearly clinched a playoff berth, long clinched a playoff berth. The magic number to clinch a first-round bye is 2. So if they win a game and Bristol loses a game at any point in the season, the Sharks will assure themselves of a first-round bye. Now looking at that magic number for the 1 seed, it's a little trickier for them as that number is currently 7. Now let's look at the number 2 seed, the Worcester Bravehearts. With 8 games remaining, their best possible record is 38-17. Their worst is 30-25. Much like the Sharks, they have clinched a playoff berth. In order to assure themselves of a first-round bye, that magic number is currently sitting in at 3. Now looking at third place, the Bristol Blues, the best teams who have not, if the playoffs begin today, assure themselves of a first-round bye. They have yet to clinch a playoff berth, but that is pretty close. The magic number to clinch a playoff berth is just 1. So if at any point they win a game or the North Shore Navigator, or rather the Nashua Silver Knights lose a game, that would be enough for the Bristol Blues to assure themselves of a postseason playoffs. In fourth place are the Brockton Rocks right now. And the Rocks, magic number to clinch the playoffs right now sits at 2.5, as the worst record they could possibly get right now is 24-32. And looking at the bubble team, the Silver Knights, their best record possibly they could get is 25-29, which is a little bit better than 24-32. Now, having a look at the Pittsfield Suns, they have a little bit more work to do if they want to clinch a playoff berth. They can actually still mathematically be above 500 despite being 8 games under right now, as with 9 games left to play. If they were to win the remainder of their 9 games, they would obviously assure themselves of a playoff berth, and they would go in at a 27-26 record. Their worst possible record is 18-35, so clearly need a little bit of work if they want to clinch a playoff berth. Right now, that magic number is currently 7. And now here's where things get really complicated between the North Shore Navigators and Nashua Silver Knights. Half a game currently separates these two teams, so we're not really talking about magic numbers yet as far as games won and lost, but here's a bigger magic number. The head-to-head records between these two teams. If it should happen where they end the season with the same exact record, which could happen mathematically, if that were to happen, they have met 11 times this season. The Silver Knights have won 7 of those games, the Navigators have won 4. They meet one more time this season, so no matter what, the Silver Knights will have that tiebreaker. So if the two teams end the season with the same record, the Silver Knights would get into the postseason instead of the Navigators. That being said, again, North Shore holds a half a game lead over Nashua, so they still have a little bit of an advantage. But, well, with the Navigators about to enter a rough doubleheader with the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, that could hurt if they don't at least split that series. So that's just something worth noting, is that if the playoffs were to begin today, well, right now the Sharks and Bravehearts would get first-round byes. The North Shore Navigators would be off to Bristol for a one-game playoff with the Bristol Blues. And, well, Billy and I would be up at Campanelli Stadium calling a playoff game in Brockton, as the Suns would be taking on the Rocks. So, all of that aside, let's have a look at what's going on for today's action. As previously mentioned, the North Shore Navigators have a humongous doubleheader against the Martha's Vineyard Sharks at home, where the Navigators really need to try to split that series at the least in order to stay afloat in the playoff picture. Their current contenders, Nashua Silver Knights, for that spot will host the Bristol Blues today at 6 o'clock p.m. at Holman Stadium. In addition, of course, here Billy and I are set to call a doubleheader as the Suns are getting set to play the Worcester Bravehearts. Now, looking at what happened yesterday, didn't have too much action going on yesterday, as the rain took effect in 3 games at that time. A couple of games that happened, the Brockton Rocks went to Bristol and picked up a win against the Blues by a score of 5-2. And the Martha's Vineyard Sharks won a tight ball game in Worcester, defeating the Bravehearts by a score of 8-7. And so now, looking aside from that, let's talk about action today. We don't quite have lineups for Game 2, but looking at lineups for Game 1 for the visiting Worcester Bravehearts. Leading off, the second baseman, number 1, Mariano Ricciardi. DHing and batting second is number 4, Chris Rinaldi, with the all-star right fielder, number 15, Michael Delacari, hacking third. Cleanup man is the first baseman, number 21, Dustin Harris, with batting fifth being shortstop, number 3, Edward House. Kirk Sidwell, left fielder, gets the nod, batting sixth, with the catcher, Paul Gazzo, batting seventh. John Hansen will hit eighth, and Joseph Pesci will finish off the order, residing in center field. And looking at who the Suns pulled up to the mound, that would be Brian Johnson. Looking at Brian Johnson on the year, really, Brian Johnson has had a pretty phenomenal year for the Suns so far, as his ERA is actually among the best in the FCBL at the moment. And, well, looking at his overall stats, 7 starts, pitched 37 innings, giving up 29 hits, 18 runs, 12 earned, walking 23 to 34 strikeouts. Not the best win-loss record at 2-3, but a sterling silver 2.86 ERA to boot. And, well, he's going to have to get a little bit of run support today, something we haven't seen too much from the Suns lineup recently. But looking at who Matt Gedman will field for his lineup today, leading off will be the left fielder, number 23, Nolan Cloutier. Hitting second, the all-star first baseman, number 38, Patrick Sullivan. Teammate, fellow all-star Drew DiMartino will reside at second base and hack third, with Ivan Nunez getting the day off fielding, but still keeping his bat in the lineup as a DH and hitting cleanup. Kyle Cronk, the right fielder, hits fifth, with Dave Matthews, the center fielder, batting sixth. Thomas Hughes will bat seventh. Jack Klimovic gets the nod, starting at third base and batting eighth. And we will once again see Severino Simeone in today's lineup. Where else other than catching? And looking at who will pitch against these 9, well, for the Bravehearts, that would be Sebastian Gruzecki. And looking at Gruzecki's total, it's been a pretty solid season on the year for Gruzecki, although he has tailed off as of recent. Pitching an 8, total games, 7 of which were starts. 34 in the third covered. He's given up 34 hits, 22 runs, 14 earned. But here's a big total, 18 walks to 38 strikeouts. And another big total, he's won 4 decisions, lost 3, so not really ever a guy to take a no decision except for on one occasion. And he has a pretty solid 3.67 ERA.
Now, again, with all this being said, thank you as well, Andrew, for that pregame analysis. For Brian Johnson, he is tied for second in the league in ERA, tied with Began, just behind Ennin of Worcester, who, of course, the Pittsfield Suns are facing off against today. So it will be a 7-inning contest for Game 1, 7-inning contest for Game 2, which is a bit of a misnomer, but albeit didn't realize this was going to happen. Today is the dog days. You heard some dogs barking. It's a K9 innings of baseball. There's your misnomer.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, unforeseen, of course, a doubleheader happening 2 days ago as well as today, and we still have 2 more doubleheaders, both scheduled for next week on top.
Well,
that is a very tough schedule.
Well, Brian Johnson's had a pretty solid season for the Suns. Maybe he can pick up 9 strikeouts in today's outing.
That's very true. Oh, there's your 9. No, then it would be
K9.
Yeah, then then it should be feline with 9 lives, 9 strikes.
That makes no sense, Billy. What are you talking about?
9 lives, 9 innings, yada yada. Either way. So again, Johnson tied for second in the league in ERA. Both Began and Johnson have pitched 37 2/3 innings, both giving up 12 unearned runs. Good for that 2.87 ERA. And for the Suns, again, looking on who they have, Nunez is going to be a big factor batting from the cleanup spot. Normally, again, playing over at third base, but right now for Game 1, that going to Kolumovic. Then Game 2 is going to go to Peter Marin. So it'll be very interesting for Nunez, again, batting cleanup. But as a whole for the Suns team, facing off against one of the hotter teams in the FCBL, especially one that's trying to fight for not just a playoff spot, of course, but a playoff bye to practically guarantee themselves into the semifinals.
Well, it is worth noting, of course, if the Bravehearts were to win both of today's games, they would no longer be fighting for that. So that would clinch them a first-round bye at that. And then they would have their eyes set on Martha's Vineyard, who, coincidentally, also plays a doubleheader today.
Yeah, that is coincidental. So, with that being said, Pittsfield Suns, at their best, can reach just 1 game over 500. They're 8 games back, 9 games left, 2 of them happening today. So should the Suns lose 1 more game this season, they will drop under 500 for the season. They still have a shot at making the playoffs, of which they're in right now, the number 5 seed. So it's going to be very interesting. At their best, they cannot get a first-round bye. They have to play in the wild card game or not play at all.
That is correct. And Billy, of course, we can talk about mathematically they could still do this and that, but it is looking very likely right now. Unless the Blues, they lost 4 straight games. If that slide continues, this could change. But it is looking very likely like you and I will be heading to Campanelli Stadium in the near future.
That'll be the first time since, I believe, 2014. It's been 4 years since we've been to beautiful Campanelli Stadium.
Way too long. That place is great.
It is absolutely gorgeous. So with that being said, right now the Suns just looking for a sweep of this doubleheader because, again, you had yesterday's game. You won 3 innings against Nashua, and that one got suspended. So you're going to have to finish that one out. More than likely going to be happening next Saturday, which is going to be, again, you have a doubleheader that happened this week, Thursday and Saturday, a doubleheader next week, Thursday and Saturday. So it's going to be a tall task. But we're going to listen in to on-field lineups. You've been listening to the Pittsfield Suns pregame show, the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
Starting out left field, with baseball goalie Alex Nolan Cloutier. At first base, with baseball goalie Anthony Patrick Sullivan. At second base, with baseball goalie Emily Fourier DiMartino. Tonight's designated hitter with baseball buddy Andrew LaRochelle. Ivan Nunez. In right field with baseball buddy Isabella Fudge, Kyle Brown. Let's see we go with baseball buddy Julian Connell Dave Matthews. And shortstop with baseball buddy Michaela Fresco Thomas Hughes. At third base with baseball buddy Calvin Hartzell, Jack Kovacic. Tonight's catcher with baseball buddy Nick Zanian, Severino Simone. And tonight's pitcher with baseball buddy Peter LaRochelle, Brian Johnson. Tonight's baseball buddies are from Great Barrington Big Group League. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, will you please rise and remove all caps as we honor America with tonight's playing of the national anthem. Playing tonight, please welcome Betsy Hara, Ace, and Bob.
Great rendition of our national anthem with a little help there from Ace. And with the national anthem being sung, ladies and gentlemen, we are moments away from Pittsfield Suns baseball with game one of this doubleheader. So with the starting lineup for the visiting Worcester Bravehearts, Andrew has the full lineup.
Leading off, Mariano Ricciardi with Kristen Rinaldi batting second. Michael Delacari hits third. We have Dustin Harris hitting cleanup. Everett House follows that up with Kirk Sidwell batting sixth. Paul Galzo will bat seventh with John Hanson hitting eighth. And Joseph Pesci finishes the order going up against Ryan Johnson.
Johnson going to be hurling to the veteran backstop Simeone for tonight's contest. Finishing the defensive alignment from third to first here in game one, Kalumovic, Hughes, DiMartino, Sullivan, and from left to right, Cloutier, Matthews, Kronk. Outfield dimensions here, Paul outfield at Wacona Park come as follows, 310 down the left field line, 377 feet in left field. 374 dead center, 403 right center field, that is the power alley in the deepest part of the ballpark. Right field line, 305. So again, Matt Gedman, skipper for the Pittsfield Suns, has both lineups, and it looks like for game two, again, this is scheduled, this is not actually set. The only man that's going to be playing both games at this point in time will be Patrick Sullivan, the all-star first baseman. And for the visiting head coach, J.P. Pine of the Worcester Bravehearts, unknown of what Game 2 provides, but at least we know what's going to happen here for Game 1 and what they want to provide in terms of the offense. But again, going against lefty Brian Johnson, who is top tier in the FCBL. What Johnson needs more than anything is run support. You already know that he's going to be able to provide an easy game where he can maybe get 2-3 earned runs, maybe a tad 4. But you've seen that before. But Brian Johnson, more or less, the thing that he needs is run support. And with this ballgame being 7 innings, he needs to go 4 innings for the minimum, at least to qualify for the win. But in order for him to qualify for the win, of course, the Suns have to be up. That's where they need the most help right now is offensively.
Yeah, it's been really trying lately for the Suns offense, at least here at Wahconah Park. They did pick things up recently against the North Shore Navigators in a big victory, but beyond that one game, since the All-Star break, it has really been trying to see this team score some consistent runs, so they're really going to have to back up Brian Johnson with some runs tonight.
I'm going to get into that testament in just a moment here, Andrew. As here's the second baseman, number 1, Mariano Ricciardi, going to bat from left-hand side. And the first batter against the pitcher, Johnson, will be a lefty versus lefty matchup.
Ricciardi, a .289 hitter for the Bravehearts this year, 7 RBI, but get this total, 38 walks to 27 strikeouts.
And the first pitch of the ball game, flashes bunt, pulls it back, but it's in there for a called strike. This ball game starting off at 5:07 local time.
Be interested to see where that 38 walks ranks atop the FCVL.
Oh, it's, again, top tier. A check swing. And this one was blown away. Count here, 1 ball, 1 strike. It helps with the small frame there of Ricciardi. Again, he, I believe, is 5'7". I'm going to get that correct, at least, before I confirm that. Here's a 1-1. This one slapped foul. Now the count here is 1-2.
He is prone to going down by way of the K, though, at 27 strikeouts, but still 38 walks, I would say, more than makes up for that total.
5'7", 165. It is the correct height. But for Ricciardi, yes, I do believe he is up there, at least top 5 in walks. This one slapped up the middle, going right to DiMartino, who plays it back-footed, throw to first, and got him.
What a beautiful defensive play from DiMartino. It's almost like DiMartino predicted that was where it was going to be hit, because you could see him running off to the spot really before Ricciardi even swung at that thing. So really a proactive effort from DiMartino prevents the base hit.
Now this will be the DH number 4, Chris Rinaldi. And for Ricciardi, yes, he leads the league by 7 walks with 38.
I'm not surprised, but looking at Rinaldi, not so fortunate, but he is hitting the ball pretty consistently with a .369 average. That's up there in the FCPL. 6 doubles with a triple and a homer. Brought in 19 runs with 15 walks to 27 strikeouts.
Here's the 0-1 following that fastball. This one drops a little bit low. So 1 ball, 1 strike here to Rinaldi.
Worth noting is Rinaldi is a bit of a speedster with 11 stolen bases on the year, so Johnson really should be careful to try to prevent him from getting on base.
Here's the next pitch. Curve, and it just drops too far low. The count now 2 balls, 1 strike. And now the 2-1 from Johnson is flared foul back towards us. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 man gone, just getting underway with game 1 of this doubleheader between the Worcester Bravehearts and their final trip here at Wahconah Park this regular season and the Pittsfield Suns. Here's the next pitch. That one high and away. This will bring it now to full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 man gone.
Already a high stretch pitch here early for Brian Johnson. This Worcester lineup is tough. It's going to test him through in, through out.
Here's a 3-2. That one snared right back to Johnson, who will easily grab that, a throw over a rainbow throw, and that will be out number 2.
And the thing about Brian Johnson we've noted here, Billy, is he doesn't have any particularly overpowering stuff, but his location is just so good most of the time he's here at Wahconah Park. And when that location is off, he's going to get lit up. But, I mean, his numbers would suggest that more often than not, it's been there. And that really does a good job inducing weak contact like we just saw right there.
Here's the right fielder, number 15, Michael Delacari, another lefty Johnson will face off against. And the first pitch will be outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes.
Michael Delacari named to the All-Star game, and to get there, Well, and after the All-Star game, he's hitting 329. 6 homers is actually tied
High
for...
fly ball going into center field with Matthews right underneath that. And that will end the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We head now to the bottom frame. No score between the visiting Worcester Bravehearts and the Pittsfield Suns. We're going to stay put and give you the starting lineup for your Pittsfield Suns.
Leading off, Nolan Cloutier. Patrick Sullivan hits second. Drew DiMartino saw him make an impressive play in the field. He'll get the opportunity to do so hitting third. Ivan Nunez will hit cleanup with Kyle Cronk batting fifth. Dave Matthews hits sixth with Thomas Hughes batting seventh. Jack Kalimovic will take his hacks eighth. And Severino Simeone will finish off the lineup. And will go to work against Sebastian Gruzecki of the Worcester Bravehearts.
Gruzecki going to be throwing to his backstop, Gazzo. I believe I have his last name correct. Yes, Gruzecki.
It is a tough one.
It is a tough one, yes. From third to first, continuing the defensive alignment, you have Hanson, House, Ricciardi, Harris. From left to right, Sidwell, Pesci, Delacari. Now, again, Andrew, to my point, going back to Brian Johnson, looking at his line, he's 2-3 on the year with a 2.86 ERA in the season. Now, with that being said, this line baffles me more than anything.
What about the 3 losses taken?
2 earned runs for a loss, 0 earned runs for a loss, 1 earned run for a loss.
That's just tough luck. Like, really, it's difficult to sugarcoat this. The Suns' offense has just not really been there at points in time this season, and it seems like Brian Johnson's been the victim of a lot of those times. But yeah, I mean, I also find in general in baseball, wins and losses, it's difficult to really use those as significant measures of a pitcher's actual ability, because I find that Johnson's stuff and his ERA is a lot more reflective of the pitcher we've seen this season. He's been pretty solid throughout most of the season. It's just that he makes a single mistake, which happens. You know, you're a baseball player. You're not, perfect. He makes a single mistake and he pays the ultimate price for it, which is unfortunate because his offense doesn't always pick him up.
Suns are second to last in the league with a .251 batting average team collective.
Ooh, that's rough.
North Shore trails them as the only other team. Worcester, however, is the top team. And for that, they're hitting the ball quite well.
That's hardly surprising.
Hitting .302 collectively.
Gee, yeah, that's hardly surprising. When you look at their order, they've got
50 points up. That's amazing.
Threats up and down the order for sure.
Here's the left fielder, number 23, Nolan Cloutier. He's been turning it on lately here in the second half of the season. And the first pitch here from Gruzecki is cut on and missed, strike 1.
Well, Nolan Cloutier back up to about par with what his team is hitting, as he's hitting .250. He's hit a couple dingers with 6 RBI, but a big 20 strikeouts on the season.
Here now the 0-1 from Gruzecki. This one snared, popped up, headed towards second. Ricciardi and the outfield grass will collect the first out of the inning.
You could hear like the slap of the bat against that ball, but it wasn't like a click sound. It was more like as if the ball had hit the catcher's mitt or something. So you know that it wasn't the best of swings there for Cloutier, and it looked more like it was in on the hands almost. So it never really had a chance to accomplish anything. That was a very poor swing.
It definitely was in on the hands, and he might want to check his bat after that, because I think it might have caused maybe a crack into it, because it sounded like a deaded ball, like I don't want to say there's cork in the bat or anything like that. It was just so in on the hands. First pitch to the left-handed hitting first baseman, number 38, Patrick Sullivan, is inside for a ball. The count here is 1-0 to the All-Star first baseman.
Second on the team with a .305 average. He's hit 8 doubles, a triple with a homer, brought in 13 runs, walking 23 times to 18 strikeouts.
Second pitch is outside for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes here to Sullivan. As Gruzecki has a sign, and from the windup will fire. High fly ball going into shallow left this time. Underneath this is Sidwell. He's going to try to track it down and does so after losing it in the air. And that will be out number 2.
Well, looking at the sky, Billy, I do know we are going to see some rough weather at some point. I don't know if it's going to actually affect our games or whatnot, but you can look at the sky. There's some pretty dark clouds, but up to my and your left, we see a little bit of sunshine, just a little bit up there, but I wonder if that sunshine is making it a little bit tricky to find the ball in the air today.
Number 3 batter, number 8, second baseman Drew DiMartino sees a first pitch just high over the plate, 1-0.
A .294 hitter, tied for McHale for 4th on the team. Demo has hit 2 homers, brought in 18 runs with 11 walks to 21 strikeouts.
The 1-0 is well high for a ball. Now the count here is 2-0.
Quietly at this point, Gruzecki, bit of difficulty with his command so far.
Pitch is high and in, so Demo's going to see a free pitch here.
I mean, he had 2-0 to Patrick Sullivan before Sullivan flew out. So it's been a bit iffy to begin the ball game location-wise.
Next pitch, well, that one's right in there. Of course, holding dead red there. 3 balls, 1 strike here to DiMartino. Yeah, that sun's starting to peek through the clouds there as the 3-1 is on the inside corner, called strike, now 3-2.
I like that pitch a lot because he didn't really like tread much of the plate there. He tried to beat around the bush like he has most of the game, so he's not venturing away from his game plan.
The payoff is swung on and it's fouled off, but I think DiMartino might have fouled it off on the backswing in and out of the catcher's mitt.
Hey,
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either way, it'll be a 3-2.
No different from a normal foul.
And the payoff. Hot shot going into center field on a line drive, but playing it off one hop will be Pesci, who, if he dove, he would have had it. However, wants to play it safe and just allow a 2-out single for DiMartino.
You know, it's not always wise to go for those risky dives, but with nobody on and 2 outs, that would have been a prime time for Pesci to lay out and try to make the play, but he does not, and now there's a runner on first.
Yeah, because if he dives and misses, well, you can kiss that one goodbye for a round tripper. DH number 39, Ivan Nunez, will dig in with 2 men gone. DiMartino on first. First pitch curves in there for a called strike, and that was a beautiful pitch coming from the inside plate crowding Nunez.
Well, looking at the inside crowding plate, Nunez, whatever he's doing has worked as he leads the team in hitting. However, just a .313 average for that designation. He does have 2 homers, and he does lead the team with 21 RBI. He's also walked 18 times to 11 strikeouts.
But Nunez cutting on that one and missing it. With a golf swing, it now brings it to 0-2. Gruzecki. And the pitch. Hot shot down third base line. Just foul. Very close pitch.
That could have done some damage. That was probably going to go for 2 bases.
Oh, it definitely was.
Maybe
the third baseman would have to travel a long ways, as well as the left fielder, especially with the high grass here at Wauchona Park. If you hit it on the ground in the infield or to the outfield, the high grass is going to cut that down and slow that ball right down. It will not carry the whole distance unless it's an extremely hard hit ball. So the count remains 0-2. DiMartino with a fine lead over at first. And the 0-2. Low and away. Good breaking ball. Try to make him chase, but Nunez with a great eye there, unwilling to swing.
Well, Demo is 3 for 6 on stolen bases this season, which is far from perfect, but it does show he's willing to try. And he's able at that.
Pickoff move over to first. And he's back in safely.
It was a little bit closer than...
It looked like he was jumping the other way. I wasn't sure if he was going to be gone with the pitch or not, but definitely was late on the throw back. And now he does steal. This one's low in the dirt, and the catcher cannot corral the ball. Time is called, but either way, that's going to be a stolen base there for DiMartino. Now 4-7.
Yeah, I mean, Billy kind of painted the picture pretty perfectly. Demo on that last pitch was kind of lunging towards second base. Lucky he didn't get thrown out, but I think that kind of showed like, hey, this guy's about to steal. Then with a 1-2 count, maybe it would have been a time to throw a pitch out.
Here's a 2-2 as this one is low and away. Now it's full and 3-2. From the stretch and a payoff pitch, Gruzecki will have the sign, check second twice, and the payoff. Breaking ball, it's high, and this will put 2 men on with 2 men gone for the right fielder, number 2, Kyle Cronk, and a great eye there from Nunez, Andrew.
Yes, he's known to do that this year, as that's going to be his 19th walk on the season. Looking at Kronk, however, not so fortunate as far as his ratios go. He is hitting .237, a triple and a homer to boot with 10 RBI. However, almost getting doubled up strikeouts versus walks, as he got 11 walks versus 20 strikeouts.
From the stretch is Gruzecki with runners on first and second here to Kronk. A long hole check in second, and the pitch well in. And the catcher there, Gaza, was thinking about a pickoff throw to first. No one covered. And Andrew, if that was Nunez there at the plate, that's probably a hit by pitch to load the bases.
Not probably. That one was clunking him.
Clonking Kronk. Either way, here's the 1-0. Cut on and miss there as he chased this one, actually foul tipped. So the count will be 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 men gone, 2 men on. We're in the bottom of the first of game 1, part of this doubleheader between the Pittsfield Suns and the Worcester Bravehearts in their final road trip to Wacona Park here in the regular season. Runner goes. The 1-1 is in there for called strike. Throw to second is not in time.
Wow.
A risky move there from DiMartino, who's now 5-8 on the season. Excuse me. Yeah.
5 for 8, yeah.
Yes, 5-8, but a risky move there from DiMartino, who's been looking at Gruzecki's motions at the plate, but a risky take there with 2 men gone.
Well, Gruzecki hasn't been throwing at least a ton of fastballs. It's been a lot of movement pitches in this inning, and DiMartino got a read, thought he was going to get another movement pitch, and there you go. He picked the right time, and, I mean, you very much don't want to steal third with 2 outs, but if you're ever going to do it, DiMartino took a gamble, and it paid off.
So with a foul ball for Kronk, it remains 1 ball and 2 strike. Runners on the corners now with 2 men gone, and Gruzecki with the pitch. Lunges at this one, defensive swing, and a beauty because this one looked like it might have clipped the outside corner. Count now 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Billy, Nunez is 4 for 4 on the year with stolen bags, and on a 1-2 count, I don't think it's particularly likely he steals, but
there's no way unless he's forced that he's going to try to steal second. Here's the 1-2, and that one's in the dirt. Nunez is in no man's land. And they are just going to play it safe and make sure no one advances.
Oh, that?
A little bit of small ball there.
I think they had Nunez dead in the water if he threw it onto first, because Nunez was kind of like halfway over to the second base bag.
That was the point, though, especially with DiMartino over on third. They tried to play a little small ball in a trick tactic and have DiMartino score before the tag was applied on Nunez.
It was never
the 2-2 is hitting his center field. Going back is Pesci, and he will make the grab in right center field to collect the final out of the inning. So a little bit of small ball and trickery does not work for the Suns, as this brings no runs over 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We head through the first inning of baseball here in a scheduled 14-inning, 2-game doubleheader between the Pittsfield Suns and the Worcester Bravehearts. Currently no score. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
They're your friends. They're your neighbors. They're even famous entertainers. They're teachers.
Okay, class, settle down. Open your book.
They're scientists and astronauts. They're hams. They're 650,000 strong, and they're just like you. Earning your amateur radio license is easy. Just contact the American Radio Relay League at 1-800-326-3942.
We head to the top of the second between the Worcester Bravehearts and the Pittsfield Suns, with no runs striking home thus far. But this will bring up the cleanup hitter for the visiting Worcester Bravehearts here in Game 1. The first baseman, left-hand hitting number 21, Dustin Harris.
Harris hitting a solid .327 on the year. Couple triples, couple homers, a big 38 RBIs, second on the team to Michael Delacari, walking 13 times to 14 strikeouts.
Very close pitch to Harris as this one's high and well in. Count here is 1-0. Delacardi leading as, well, this one's a hot shot right over to the pitcher. As right now the pitcher, I was just saying someone's leading something. The pitcher is leading the team in assists today, as that's another 1-3 putout. But also for Dustin Harris, that was quite a rocket shot. And again, the athleticism there from Johnson and the awareness and the reaction time is just as his ERA, it is very, very high in terms of up there in the leaders in the league. This will now bring up the shortstop number 3, Edward House.
Maybe Brian Johnson can pick up a bat too.
A half-hearted check swing as that one's in there for a called strike. 0-1.
Edward House leading the team unofficially, but still leading the team hitting at .435 in 24 games, 85 at-bats. He's hit a homer with 22 RBI, walked 19 times to just 3 strikeouts, so he's been particularly stingy just getting him out in general.
Foul ball makes it now 0-2 here to House.
He doesn't have enough at-bats to qualify for the team lead, which he would otherwise easily have at .435. But he's still contributing at a high rate.
The 0-2 is a check swing, then a full defensive swing. Somehow made contact, and it remains 0-2. that was ball.
That was pretty half-hearted at that, because you could see him, he kind of like lunged the bat through. He almost kind of carried it through the plane at that one. That was not like an actual swing.
Here's the 0-2, as that one is in and out of the glove there, Simeone, who throws it over to, well, didn't mean to, obviously. It was in and out of the glove, but he throws it over to the ball boy. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Edward House. And the 1-2. Curveball, and he makes him swing at this one, which might have been up and away, but that one, another foul ball, now makes it remaining 1-2.
Oh, that one would have been an easy ball. That one was well high and well away. In fact, I don't even know how House got a bat on that thing. That was an impressive defensive swing.
And if I were Johnson, I'd set up that curveball going low here on the 1-2 following 2 continuation fouls. He goes with the fastball instead, and House continues fouling them off. It's 1-2, 7th pitch of the at-bat on the 1-2 count.
Yeah, 4 fouls, 3 continuations so far. House is really fighting at the plate. You are right though, Billy. A low curve, something along those lines.
The 1-2, high fly ball deep to left center field. Cloutier Matthews going to chase. Cloutier will turn the other cheek and let Matthews corral that one in left center field.
It was kind of Cloutier's vicinity, but I guess Matthews wanted it.
Well, with the center fielder being the captain of the outfield, he does have the right of way, if you will.
Indeed he does.
So with 2 men gone here in the second, now the left fielder number 11, Kirk Sidwell, will dig in from the right-hand side.
Solid season for Sidwell, a .323 hitter, a trio full of homers with 16 RBI, 8 walks to 22 strikeouts on the year.
Here is the pitch, as that one is in there for a call strike. Lower outside quadrant there for Johnson, 0-1. Again, the windup and the pitch. Swung on, foul back to the fencing, now 0-2. Johnson going to set again here. The windup and the 0-2. Swung on over to short, just past Hughes, and that will be the first base hit for the Bravehearts here today.
That one's well hit and well placed as well, just outside of Hughes' purview. Squared up on that one really, really well. It was a really good swing on a pretty good pitch from Johnson. All he can really do is tip his cap to Sidwell on that one.
Now the catcher, number 16, Paul Gazzo, will step up to the dish, and the backstop will have a runner on first with 2 men gone.
Fairly new addition to the Bravehearts is Gazzo, as he's only played in 10 games. A .333 hitter, he's driven in 6 runs with 4 walks and 6 strikeouts. So he's had his fair share of success early on in his Worcester career.
Pitch is swung on, and it hit the batter.
Oh, that's unfortunate right there. Of course, he swung on that one, so that would clearly not be ruled a hit by pitch. So he's really just taking that one.
With a swing and it hitting Gazzo, that makes it a dead ball, similar to a foul ball. But that is the first time I've seen here at Wacona Park where someone had swung on it and it was that far in where it got a piece of it.
That's got to sting.
Insult to injury, really. Johnson with the lift and deal. The 0-1 is dribbler down the third base line, and it stays in. No, it goes foul.
Looked like it was.
It looked like it was going foul, but I think Kalumovic had that one right on the line.
Yeah, that one. Ooh, that's a tough call.
Kalumovic obviously is going to have a better vantage point than us because, well, he was right there. But from our vantage point, that one was still in fair territory, treading the line when Kalumovic picked it up.
I'm actually kind of surprised that got called a foul.
So it'll be an 0-2 count with 2 men gone, running around first. Now it's swung on and missed for strike 3, and that will end the inning. First strikeout for Johnson, who gives up a single, and it shakes it off just like that. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left. We head now through 1.5 innings to the bottom of the second. It'll be the 6, 7, 8 batters do it for the first time for the Pittsfield Suns with no score between the Bravehearts and the Suns. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
Salagadoola, metricaboola, bibbidi-bobbidi-boo.
You must be your fairy godmother. Yes.
It doesn't take a fairy godmother to tell you that the right fit means everything.
Good heavens, child. You can't go in that.
Children under 4'9" need to be in a booster seat because they aren't ready for adult safety belts alone. Many parents miss the important step of booster seats.
Maybe you better explain things to him.
Booster seats raise your child up so that a safety belt designed for adults will fit and protect them properly.
Oh, that does make a difference.
Remember that 4'9" is the magic number, and get your little pumpkin there safely in a booster seat.
Hop in, my dear. Oh, thank you.
And like Cinderella, you can live happily ever after.
It's like a dream. A wonderful dream come true.
For more information, visit boosterseat.gov. This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Getting your child home safely
Tap your views together 3 times.
is just a click away.
There is no place like home.
But making sure your child is in the right seat is just one of the steps down the road to safer travels.
I don't know how it works.
Find the right seat for your little one's age and size. There's no better way to get home safely. Know for sure that your child is in the right seat.
How can I ever thank you enough?
Get all the facts at safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The center fielder, number 20, Dave Matthews, is going to take his hacks to lead off the second here. Matthews always flashes the glove defensively. However, this season has struggled quite a bit offensively. Looking to turn it around here in the far later second half. As this one, well, that one is going to back him up just a little bit. The count 1-0 as this one is well in.
Yes, Dave Matthews, a .248 hitter. He leads the team with 3 homers. He's driven in 13 runs, 19 walks, but a big 34 strikeouts, which leads the team by 1.
Pitch was upstairs over the plate, now 2-0. Here's the pitch as this one's nubbed off the bat, headed to short. Headed to House, who will throw it to first and gets him by a step. And that'll be the first out of the inning. Now this will be the shortstop, number 30, Thomas Hughes. The utility two-way player right now has the best ERA on the team, albeit in relief, and does not qualify, but still doing quite fantastically on the mound. There's a pitch. That's in there. A called strike, 0-1.
Not so much swinging the bat, however. Hughes just 171 hitter, a homer with 9 RBI, walking 10 times to 11 strikeouts.
Pitch, that one's going to give him a little bit of a question there of whether or not he does want a haircut or not, and now the count will be 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, no matter what, that's always going to back anyone up. 1-1. Swung on, headed to second. Ricciardi will glove this one. Throw over to first well in time. 2 men gone.
It's been a rough season at the dish for Thomas Hughes. We really just haven't seen any hard contact from him lately. It looks a lot of the time like he just doesn't know what's being thrown to him or whatnot.
He has been doing well defensively as well as pitching. Only 3 errors this whole season in the 22 games he's played. So let's bring up the third baseman, number 1, Jack Klumovic, the home run derby hitter, or regular, I should say. This one misses out high, now 1-0. The Suns are 0-2 in home run derbies here at Wacona Park this season.
Well, Klumovic hitting just 181 in live action. He's driven in 9 runs with 9 walks to 16 strikeouts.
Pitch misses upstairs. Now 2 balls and no strikes here to Klumovic.
Yes, Billy, Klumovic been a surprising contributor for the Suns in home run derbies. He's the only one who's really found any sort of consistent success in them.
2-0. Misses high and away. Now 3-0. He's going to be sitting here with a free pitch. Kruzecki with the 3-0. Sees a pitch just barely hit the outside corner. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 men gone here in the bottom of the second in game 1 of this doubleheader between the Worcester Bravehearts and the Pittsfield Suns. From the windup, Kruzecki with the 3-1 pitch. Snared in between third and short, and that's going to be a seeing eye single going into left there for Klumovic.
Another strong base hit there from Klumovic. And again, hitting a bit of a rough patch most recently, but Billy, here at Wacona Park, we've seen him start to turn things around a little bit.
So bring up the catcher number 19, Severino Simeone.
Oh boy, Simeone, speaking of someone who started to turn things around, his batting average right now doesn't look too impressive at 180, but he had dipped as low as in the 130s as of recent, so he has picked things up, including the last time we saw him here, he was a homer short of a cycle. In any case, a 180 hitter driven in 5 runs with 3 walks to 15 strikeouts.
Pitch runs high and in. It looked like a 2-seamer there from Kruzecki. Count now 1 ball, no strikes. A man on first and 2 men gone. Suns getting their 2-out hitting here in the first 2 innings fairly well, but continuing to hit off that is where the struggle lies. This one, a little chin music there on top of it. So pitch in, then high and in. So now a quick chat here from Gazzo and Kruzecki as Simeone, well, he's already clean shaven. He doesn't really need any more hairs taken off.
Well, it looked like Gazzo's actually kind of inadvertently slapped him across the face when he reached up to grab that pitch. That was kind of funny.
So it'll be a 2-0 count here, and Simeone more than likely will be awaiting a first pitch called strike from the currently effectively wild Kruzecki. The 2-0, he does swing down the third base line. It is a fair ball. The throw over to first is offline. A tag is not applied. They're going to throw over to third, and caught napping was Klumovic.
Oh. Caught dogging it on that one.
He assumed the runner was out at first. He assumed wrong, and that will cut the offense short. No runs off of 1 hit, no errors, and no runs off of 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We now head through 2 full to the top of the third. Right now, again, there's no score between the Bravehearts and the Suns. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
In times like these, violence in our schools is a reality, so it's important to know what to do if a dangerous situation arises, and also how to prevent it. Kids, never bring a weapon to school, and if you see a student with one or even hear someone talking about having a weapon, report it immediately. If something doesn't seem right or look right to you, speak up. If someone you know is showing signs of anger, or if you are feeling out of control, tell someone. If you feel threatened or bullied, tell someone. Violent acts often start out as small disagreements. Tell a parent or teacher if you see an argument taking place. It's better to let someone know about a disagreement before it gets out of hand. Let's put an end to these tragedies. Ask your school to adopt an anti-violence program. Visit ncpc.org to learn more about how to keep your school safe. That's ncpc.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Here in the top of the third, it will be the third baseman, number 19, John Hansen, as the number 8 batter leading things off here in the top of the third. He, as well as center fielder number 18, Joseph Pesci, are the only men not to take their hacks thus far. Here is the first pitch here from the lefty Johnson. This one well outside, 1-0.
And Hansen, just a 163 hitter, an aberration here in the Worcester hot hitting order, as he's hit 1 homer with 14 RBI, walking 19 times to 25 strikeouts.
I'm not sure if anyone just saw that. It was hit sharply on a line drive, foul, hit the top of the first base dugout in the Worcester dugout, and careened all the way up and ricocheted well out of the ballpark.
It's like skipping pebbles.
Apparently. Here's the 1-1. That one, same spot, but not more on a line drive. Great catch there from Joseph Pesci, who catches this one off the fence.
I mean, he's used to catching balls that are, I guess, falling. So, just not the time he's used to doing it at in the, getting warmed up. But, well, there you go.
Here is the 1-2. And on the hands, foul first base side. Sullivan going to chase. He'll dive and just miss the ball. Drops his glove, but immediately gets up. Let's give him a hand there. Flashing a smile, just went off his glove.
A tough play to make for Sullivan. And, well, Billy, I mean, an impressive effort from Sullivan, but we've renowned many times here on our broadcast how Sullivan isn't the fleetest of foot. I feel as though if he were just a little bit faster, he could have had that one. But still an impressive effort nonetheless.
He's still smiling at it. He thought that one was fun. It will remain a 1-2. Johnson with a pitch, cuts it on, and he misses on it. That will bring strikeout number 2, especially in a row there for Johnson.
Yeah, not an impressive swing from Hansen. That was well early and well off, as his bat's not 60 feet tall on that one. He easily goes down swinging.
Center fielder number 18, Joseph Pesci, will now dig in. He's the only man not to step up to the dish.
A 293 hitter, Pesci has hit a triple and a homer this year. 18 RBI with 9 walks to 23 strikeouts on the year.
That one fouled off, first base side, 0-1. Now we're getting some heavy clouds overcasting us right now.
Yes, we are. It makes me wonder if we're going to hope we can get through our 2 games with no interruption from the weather.
Snared, and it goes off the infield grass and dirt lip into right field, so that will be a single for Joseph Pesci.
Well, Billy, it's been a game full of singles so far. 5 combined base hits between the 2 teams, and every single one of them has been a single.
Now will be the second baseman, Mariano Ricciardi, the leadoff hitter. Ground to 1 to second his last time up, and right now, if you're Ricciardi, you do not want that to happen again.
In fact, Billy, they've all been hit with 2 outs on the board each for each respective team. It's kind of just been blips on the radar so far.
Here's the pitch. Outside corner, high and away. It does catch. Count is 0-1 here. Oh, boy. Yeah, this weather is really, really looking scary. Hopefully it does not deter anything. Pickup motion over to first, and he's back in safely. And if you're Johnson, you got to play it a little bit closer towards first base.
I'm going to check up on what we've got for weather looking at today, Billy, but I do remember hearing before coming in today that weather today was going to be kind of scary, but I'll double check that in a moment.
Pitch is high, and, well, it'll be Aces Wild. The number one hitter, number one, has a 1-1 count with one man gone.
We are going to see some rain tonight.
Yes, we are. Oh, and I forgot to mention there's a runner on first, fouling a one-bagger. So Aces truly wild here.
Oh, boy.
Johnson, a long stare, and now a pitch, curveball, and that backed up Ricciardi more than it should have.
To follow up on my recent comment, we have an 80% precipitation chance tonight, so that's definitely going to interfere.
When is it supposed to come in?
I believe it's at 6 p.m. Yes.
Well, that's 15 minutes away. So
62% humidity as well, so that's going to be rough.
2-1 is actually picked off towards first.
So, yeah, Billy, your fears are certainly reasonable. Dark clouds, definitely got some rain coming in tonight, barring a miracle.
2-1. Swung on, and Ricciardi nearly tripped.
Talk about swinging out of your own shoes. It is kind of windy up here a little bit as well at the moment. It's not like a gale per se, but just a light breeze.
And the 2-2 is just missing the outside corner. So it'll be full 3 balls, 2 strikes with one man gone, and Joseph Pesci currently sitting on first.
Worth noting is that Ricciardi has grounded into 11 double plays this season. 3-2 pitch.
They pick him off, and they got him. Throw over to second, and he is well out.
Well, never mind the double play possibility, as he pretty much with a...
They're arguing the call, saying the tag was not applied. He overslid the bag.
You can see the dugout down by first base. They're going nuts. Like, they were screaming, no way, right after the call was made.
He was easily out.
Yes.
I know the throw was there, but they're arguing the tag, not the throw.
I don't see the argument there. The tag was pretty clearly applied. I don't see any way that they could overturn this. It doesn't look like they're going to even think about it.
So a short-lived argument. This will make it now. That was caught stealing. 1-3-6. Down goes Pesci. So it'll be a full count.
Oh, never mind Ricciardi's team leading 11 double plays, as that is no longer in effect.
Here's a windup from BJ, and the full count pitch is snared towards short. A throw over to first is in time, so it really doesn't matter.
Probably would have been a double play.
So that being said, it's a 6-3 put out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. We head now to the bottom of the third, and a no score between the Bravehearts and the Suns. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball, the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
So here's my cell phone number, my husband's cell phone number, and here's the number to the grandparents. The number of the restaurant we'll be at, it's just down the block. And I told the neighbors you were here, so if anything happens, anything at all, don't hesitate to call. And what's your cell phone number again? I don't think I put that in.
Honey,
what?
Honey, he'll be fine. Okay, let's go.
I know you're right.
The odds of a babysitter calling 911, 1 in 1,400. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 150. You know the odds of autism. Now learn some of the signs. No big smiles or other joyful expressions by 6 months. No back and forth sharing of sounds or facial expressions by 9 months. And no babbling by 12 months. To learn more of the signs and more about autism, visit autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
This brings the bottom of the third. And with weather coming in, hopefully trying not to deter this doubleheader, the field, at least the view of it, looks extremely bleak thus far with an overcast.
It does. Like, look out by that light over there.
Like in center field towards left, yes. So here's a first pitch from Gruzecki. Pitch was low for a ball, 1-0. And the 1-0 from Gruzecki is in there for a called strike on a breaking ball. Yeah, this is a very eerie overcast thus far because you have the sun through the clouds. You can easily see it as that one was swung on and missed, and now we're starting to get some drizzle here.
Indeed, we are. And from the looks of it, let me go back to my other thing. We are going to get hit hard tonight.
Oh, boy.
That's rough.
We need to get this doubleheader in, too. Here's the 1-2. This one snared over towards short, picked by the shortstop. House throw over to first is in time. They'll bring up the first baseman, number 38, Patrick Sullivan, who flew out to left his last time up. Yeah, you're right, Andrew. That drizzle's really looking like it's coming down.
The looks of it, we're going to get hit particularly hard within the next hour, but it should calm down within the rest of the night.
Here's a pitch. Swung on, and that one, I think that got the crowd, Mike. The good news is I have padding there with a windscreen, so. The good news is no broken microphones. Otherwise, well, that's coming out of my budget. The count is 0-1 here. As this one breaks his bat, headed over towards second. Slow over to second. Ricciardi hurls that one underhand. Flip over to Harris for the second out of the inning.
I don't know that hurls is the right word I would use. I would say more like flips it or something along those lines. Like just, here you go.
Shoves it.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Shoves.
Here's the second baseman, Drew DiMartino. A single and 2 stolen bases his last time up.
It's really coming down now, Billy. It's going to get harder and harder by the second.
Yeah, and it's going roughly. Pitch misses the inside corner high, 1-0.
Now,
is going at about a 45-degree angle from where we're sitting, from right to left.
Now, Billy, I know, of course, it's a tie game, so it's really kind of irrelevant. I'll talk about this after this pitch.
A check swing, doesn't matter. It's in there, a called strike. Go ahead.
So I know that in a 9, and you might know this better than me. I know in a 9-inning game, you have to complete 4 complete innings in order to have it be a full game should it get called off. But
yes,
what is it in a 7-inning game?
Same thing.
Oh,
pitch is in there for a called strike. Now 1-2. And for the pitching stats, if it's anywhere from 4 to 8 innings, you have to qualify by pitching at least 4 innings. If you pitch 9 innings, or if it's a regulation 9-inning ball game, as the pitch is low, 2-2, then it's 5 innings, or is the minimum for the pitchers. But we have to get at least 4 innings through.
And someone has to take the lead, of course.
That one hit it over to short again. House snow cones it, throws over to first in time to end the inning.
Which doesn't seem like it's particularly close to happening.
No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We head to the 4th, the top frame that is. No score between the Bravehearts and the Suns. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
In times like these, violence in our schools is a reality, so it's important to know what to do if a dangerous situation arises, and also how to prevent it. Kids, never bring a weapon to school, and if you see a student with one, or even hear someone talking about having a weapon, report it immediately. If something doesn't seem right or look right to you, speak up. If someone you know is showing signs of anger, or if you are feeling out of control, tell someone. If you feel threatened or bullied, tell someone. Violent acts often start out as small disagreements. Tell a parent or teacher if you see an argument taking place. It's better to let someone know about a disagreement before it gets out of hand. Let's put an end to these tragedies. Ask your school to adopt an anti-violence program. Visit ncpc.org to learn more about how to keep your school safe. That's ncpc.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Yep, that was
predictable.
Very predictable. They're going to take the team off because it is absolutely pouring right now.
Oh, wow.
It is coming down.
Oh, man. I mean, of course, it's not a good thing because, obviously we're delaying at the least, but I don't know, like it's just the dramatic nature. Like, it's drizzling now. It's kind of coming down. Then, oh my, it is pouring. It is absolutely destroying the field.
They're going to bring out the tarp right now. That's going to cause a heavy, heavy delay here.
Hope it doesn't call it outright postponement or even cancellation.
This game's not going to be postponed. They're either going to play it or they're going to cancel it. We're hoping to get this game in.
I believe, Billy, this is the last time the Bravehearts are scheduled to come here. So you're correct.
That is the case.
It would be a cancellation if they couldn't play this game. But again, Billy, based on what I'm looking at, it looks like actually, unfortunately, the rain seems like it's going to remain pretty consistent up until about 9 p.m.
Well,
that sucks. So it looks like we could be looking at a cancellation.
We're hoping not. We're going to hold off on any words of such as
appropriate.
I hate to do it, but I think I'm going to have to close this. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we are going to do is we are going to cut the broadcast right now just to preserve our equipment. Stay tuned. Again, subscribe to the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network here on YouTube, so that way you may follow for when the game resumes. But at least at this point in time, we are going to cut the broadcast short and await further instructions on when this ball game can potentially be resumed. So, alongside Andrew Millargent, my name is Billy Madewell. Please stay tuned. We will give you some sort of update when and if this game will continue.